Yeah, Sobrina, yeah. Mindful, side hustle. Money, money, money. We want the freedom, not the honey. Money, money, money. Beauty once and it keeps coming. Money, money, money. From the laptop to the balcony. Money, money, money. Queen of the side hustle, that's me.
Welcome back to the Mindful Side Hustle podcast. This is the show where we talk about building your plan B before you actually need it. We're all about using your skills, your story, and tools like AI to create freedom without adding more stress to your plate. I am your host, Sobrina. On today's podcast, I'm very excited for today's show. We have a special guest. My guest today, her name is Janay. And let me share a little bit about Janay and why I wanted her to be on our show. I first connected with Janay through her community on Skool, which is called the Empire Creator Lab. For those of you who aren't familiar with Skool, it's an online platform that combines like community building, courses, and events all in one place. I like to describe it so you can have like a little visual in your head. I like to describe it as Facebook, but better. It's focused and you can build it out to whatever you want it to be. When you go to Janay's About page, her tagline hits you right in the face. She says, stop consuming and start creating. She says that she built the lab because she kept seeing smart people sitting on great ideas with no clear place to finish them. They have the tool, the knowledge, but they just needed a place to actually land and do the work. When I read that, girl, I felt seen because I'm going to be totally honest, that was me for a very long time. Another thing that I admire about Janay, and I also have to let you guys know I'm part of her community. What I like about her is that she don't just talk about AI, she lives it. And in a good way. She wrote a book called How to Talk to Chatty Like a Baddie. And you can find that book on Amazon. And it's all about her giving you helpful tips on how you can talk to ChatGPT to get better output. She's well versed in Lovable to build apps and website in her community. She's always doing tutorial on how to use Lovable to build a website and different apps. She's also a travel agent and she curates group trips. I'll label myself the queen of side hustle. And I want to say this here. If I am the queen of side hustle, Janay is definitely the queen of collaboration. She's always on some summit. She's always dropping information on how you can be a part of different summits. So that's why I wanted her on my show. So today we're going to be diving into what it means to be a creator, why communities is the secret sauce for entrepreneurs, how AI can stop you from feeling overwhelmed, and why travel is the ultimate cure for that toxic 9 to 5 burnout or starting a side hustle around travel. Janay, welcome to Mindful Side Hustle Podcast. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. What a wonderful introduction. Thank you.
Okay. And all of this is true. I'm not even making none of that up. That's everything from my observation from being in your community. But before we dive in, is there anything else you would like to add about what you do and what you are truly passionate about?
Yes. So thank you so much. So that was great. That really was everything in a nutshell. I'm really just passionate about everybody just building their empire. Like, whether you do 20 side hustles, 5 side hustles, maybe you want to just do your own business. I just really want everybody to just do what's best for them because I feel like that, that's going to lead to so much more happiness. I feel like so many of us are so talented, but we're just in a box. That's what I'm passionate about, just helping people.
hmm And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this conversation is because your message about creating instead of just consuming, it's so loud right now. We live in an age where information is everywhere. You can watch a YouTube all day, buy every course, but at some point, learning has to turn into movement and some type of execution. And I'm going to be a little transparent with you. That was me. I have bought courses after courses, been to seminar after seminar, but I couldn't get into the flow of actually starting to do something that's sustainable, something that will put like $1 in my pocket for a very long time. So, what was the moment for you, Janae, when the light bulb just kind of went off and you realized that you were done just consuming and ready to start building?
Oh gosh. When I first got the community going, it wasn't even then. I think it was like November. It was like a November or December last year. And I had paid for another course and I paid for another certification. And I was like, all I'm doing is consuming information. I haven't actually created anything from any of this information I've consumed. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
I'm just spending money. I'm just
Mhm.
reading and watching YouTubes, watching this and that, but I'm not actually moving or doing anything. And that's when I was like, this has to stop. Like I have to reframe myself in my mindset because it's like after a while, you do have to put boots on the ground and actually implement what you're consuming. Otherwise, you're just going to be in a consumption loop.
Yep. I think that's so common for a lot of us who are creators. And there's nothing wrong with consuming and getting courses and buying stuff because that's just very telling that you kind of elevating yourself by getting yourself geared up with the right tools and information. So you have the authority when you're going out there and putting stuff out. So there's nothing wrong about that. But I think a lot of us, we get so stuck at when do we start? We get stuck in that loop, like you said, like when do you start? And then you just overthink. I think we all are guilty of that overthinking stuff and getting started. And I truly believe a lot of people aren't lazy. They're just overwhelmed. They're
Yeah.
scared of doing it wrong. And they feel like they need one more class or one more tool before they can begin. And this is why it becomes the loop. So how can someone tell when their learning has actually just become a way of procrastinating their dreams? I mean, how do you know when you're stuck in that loop? Because I think some people don't know they're in the loop.
Okay, so for me, I feel like when I got uncomfortable, that's when I knew
Mhm.
because I was very comfortable in the tutorial loop. And then, like, I just woke up and I was like, I'm uncomfortable because I'm not actually doing anything. And I do believe in courses. You do have to
Mhm.
kind of take courses to kind of elevate your learning because we don't know it all, right? So we do need to sometimes bring in courses and certifications, but I was taking certification after certification and I was like telling myself as long as I'm learning, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But then it got to the point where I wasn't able to even implement anything because before I had a chance to implement the last thing I learned, I was trying to learn something else. And I was just doing I was just in a felt like I was on a hamster
It's
wheel.
so true. Me too. I'm like getting ready to say, me too. It's so funny how, I mean, if the two of us is kind of agreeing on the same stuff, there's so many people out there that's listening to this right now. You know, we talking about you. We're connecting with people out there listening right now. And this is why I want to have the conversation. First, we're saying we have to know when we're procrastinating, and that's the uncomfortableness. I think you hit that on the nose. I'm gonna talk money right here. I spent 1 year, I spent $2,500 buying courses and all kind of stuff and not making a dime. And I got so uncomfortable to the point I felt as if I was kind of beating myself up. What am I doing? I'm not making any money. Well, I think I was just afraid of starting. Like I'm gonna be judged. Let's talk about school. I was very comfortable in being in communities like school. I feel as if school is a space where you find your tribe. You literally find communities where you're comfortable in it. People who look like you, sound like you, and stuff, inspiring stories. And then when AI came about, that just even changed the game. You created the Empire Creator Lab. And I think people underestimate how much faster you move when you're in the right room, the right community. Your community, it's growing and your community is growing fast. And I really do think you need to coin the phrase that you're the queen for collaboration. In a community, you're always on some summit where you're presenting on AI. And you like to say that, summits and collaborating with people, that's where a lot of your growth is coming from. I see it that, a testament to your community. I've seen it. I was a part of I guess one of your first 100 people in your community.
Yeah.
And I saw how your community exploded. Now, your community, her community, guys, it's a very intimate community. It's under 1,000. And I want to say, being a part of a small community, one of the benefit before they start getting bigger. You get direct access and faster feedback. And the vibe, it feel more like a mastermind. So you have in your community, you have all the time, you were just popping up, hey guys, I'm gonna have a meet and greet. And now people are, I like to say, sometimes people get in spaces because they want to be inspired, because sometimes people join these school community and they don't do anything. And I'm telling you, people are dropping gems in these school communities, and people who are in them, they're not taking advantage of it. I know for a fact they're not taking advantage of it, because I think we're all stuck in that information gathering mode. And a lot of communities on School is free. Like they have these freemium here, you get in it, and then there's an upsell on, the more high end stuff and so forth. But the free stuff that people are giving away in these school community, I'm like, these are gems. Especially you, Janay. These are some gems. People, I don't think people really understand some of the free stuff that they are dropping in school communities, and how on that alone can get you started and
Yeah.
making some money. Because my bottom line is, it's like, if you're not making any money, what are we doing here? One of the reasons why you're even on this podcast today is like from one of your meet and greet. And I jumped on, and normally you don't have a ton of people. I think it was like 5 or 6 of us was on your
Yeah.
last meet and greet. And then you came on, and she literally said, hi guys, what are you guys up to? What is everybody up to? I said, oh, I have my new podcast, Janay. I would love to have you on. And she said, yeah. And then next
Yeah.
thing you know, in the community, you said, you know what? I'm going to drop a link to a podcast trade, because I bet you a lot of people just like me have podcasts and people don't know about it. And then you dropped it in your school community. And I think in your thread, there were like 20 people in there. Oh, yeah, here's my podcast. Here's my podcast. So, and that's why you're here today, from just having that meeting
Yes.
in your community.
And I
So,
love stuff like that. Like I love that, you have a podcast and I have one, and there's so many people that have one, but without that meet and greet, would we have known that? Like.
exactly. And this is my question I want to ask you. What do you think makes a platform like School so powerful for entrepreneurs right now compared to just being a random Facebook group?
I think School works, especially now, because I think business is going more towards a community based type of
Mhm,
situation. And
mhm.
in School, you have your community and the content in the same place.
Yep.
Like, the people that are in my community, they see me every day. Like you said, they're able to talk to me, DM me. As opposed to a Facebook group, it's so much going on Facebook already that you could bounce between a Facebook group, and before you know it, you're on someone's post about their son's football game. I mean,
Mhm.
it's so
Yeah.
much to keep up with on Facebook.
It's so true. And you can kind of build it out to whatever you want it to be. And
Yeah.
I really do enjoy School. I think it's such a great, and it's so user friendly. It's super user friendly.
Oh, it really is.
And they just rolled out like their Zoom portion of it within the community. There's a tab on it where you click it, and next thing you know, you have how many? I think he said up to 5,000 people he can have in one. It's not Zoom, but it's the School version of Zoom, but it's the same kind of layout, right?
Yes, and it's free. It's
And
with
it's
your
free.
community. You don't have to have an additional Zoom account if you don't want to,
Yes. Yeah.
it works really well. I've used it multiple times, and I feel like School is really building out these features to make it easier for us entrepreneurs to run our community, do everything on Zoom. I mean on School, everything, which keeps your audience from being fragmented. Like I feel like on School, if you're browsing my community, you only see my community. You're not gonna, you may see those suggested communities on the side, but you see my content, what I'm trying to teach. You don't see all the stuff that goes on Facebook.
Yeah, that's so true. It's like a literally online community. This is my take on why communities are going to be the future. It's because with social media now, they are kind of trying to direct how you do content. Your voice is being stifled. Even YouTube with AI. Well, I did this podcast the other day. We're talking about AI, and my position on it, we really don't know what AI is going to look like. We're just going to have to wait and see how it's going to settle into our everyday life. Because YouTube, I'm a big YouTuber. And YouTube, they're not saying that they don't want you to use AI. They just want you to be transparent about it. However, they demonetize a certain aspect of AI usage on your YouTube video. And I saw and read a piece on animated type storytelling on YouTube. They're not going to be monetized. So for those content creator, what does that mean for them? Right. So if you had a community like Skool, this is what people are going to do it. People are going to bring their audience into one space. And there's something about just finding your tribe.
Yeah. And I think, especially for a lot of entrepreneurs that are just getting started, that is such a good thing to go into a community and feel like you're around like minded people and not just screaming into a void on social media. I think that makes all the difference in the world. You're building your business, I'm building mine. And it's nice to be in a community like that.
It's so true. This podcast is all about creating side hustles, side income mindfully. And I always say your plan B should not burn you out before it blesses you. That's why I'm obsessed with AI in a good way. For a lot of us, AI make the start feel less heavy. Like say that you work a stressful 9 to 5 job and becoming an entrepreneur can be a very daunting task for a lot of people. But with the boom of AI, it can make the start feel less heavy. It helps you with the writing, the planning, and even your confidence. And honestly, sometime I like ChatGPT gaslighting me to make me believe that I'm amazing. I like it. You know how people say, "Oh my gosh, he's just so chatty." I was putting there, "Oh yeah, you could do this. This is awesome." I was like, as long as you know that's what he's doing, I want him to say, "Don't do that." No.
Right. You have to have your own discernment.
I love it. So that's what I'm saying. There's no excuses for people to start side hustling on things that you're passionate about or anything that you've always dreamt of wanted to do with AI. I mean, now is the time to do it because we have AI tools that can help you do it. Now, what's one simple way someone can use AI this week to move an idea forward, Janay? If you had to give them one thing, what's something that somebody could do today using AI?
Ooh, something they could do today. If it was me, I would ask AI to help me find like the top 5 questions in my specific niche that people were asking. Either help me with a prompt or something. That way I could narrow down what I need to focus on, what
Mhm.
people are asking about, what questions my audience may have about said subject. That's what I would do.
I think a lot of people take AI tool for granted and don't understand the power of what you have access to, what you can create and what you can do. Let's talk about travel because you're a travel agent, right? So I know you
I
share that a lot.
am.
I want to ask you, how has travel shaped the way you think about business and freedom?
Oh my gosh, this is such a good question because before I started traveling, I didn't know what freedom to me, my version of freedom actually looked like. But truly, as I've navigated traveling, I've been traveling since I was in my 20s, and I've learned the difference between productivity and performing productivity from traveling because I feel like when I come back from anywhere I've been, I'm a little more clearer.
Huh?
I'm a little more focused on what I want to do instead of having this big, long, going nowhere to do list like I do in my everyday life. And it makes me look at business different because I now know that I don't want a business that requires me to be chained to it.
Mm.
I want a business that travel will be a non negotiable. I'll be able to move the way I want. So I feel like travel has definitely opened my eyes on how I want freedom to look for me and how I want my business to function for me.
I did a 1 month, 30-day trip
Ooh.
before where I've been to 4 different countries in 1 month. And that was one of my best experience ever. Oh my gosh. And I did it solo, girl. Solo.
Oh, I bet
Peeing
that
in my
was just
pants.
fabulous.
Trina, I did it scared. I did it scared, when one of those life moments when I went through something and I was like, I just gonna take off. And was so scared. And even my family was a little afraid for me. They was like, oh my God. I went through mostly Asian countries. I went to. I went to where did I go? I went to Dubai, I went to Thailand, I went to Cambodia and God, Cambodia. But anywho, I did the run. I did the run. It was 4 countries. I was hopping around. It was freaking fantastic.
Oh, I bet that just sounds
Sorry.
amazing.
It was. It changed my life. I came back thinking like, if I did that, I could do anything. And that's the moment when everything that I've been buying, all these courses, all the talent that I know that I have, I just start doing it. I just start
Yeah.
doing them and don't caring where it falls. So, do you think that physically stepping away from your environment, like taking a trip, held possibility for your life?
Absolutely. I feel like the same desk, the same walls, it keeps you in the same thinking pattern.
Mm,
And when you physically like leave, it's like I feel like you kind of get that permission to think differently. And some of my best ideas came from like
mm,
sitting in on the beach somewhere, you know?
mhm,
And not to
mhm.
say that to be like, "Oh, I'm just laying around on the beach," and no, it's because I changed my scenery, and I think it gave me space to think.
Mhm, mhm.
And
Hey,
it
girl,
gave me courage.
there's nothing wrong with laying around on the beach. Shoot, it's not to be done. What you
Nothing
doing
wrong.
laying around on the beach? What you do? Absolutely nothing. Just laid around. Girl.
Just
What's one of your most funniest moment traveling?
ooh. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, I've had a lot, but one of my funniest moments, it was I was in Iceland and it was so dang on cold, y'all. Like it was when I first got there, it wasn't that cold, but every day it got colder. So today we're out and about and we get into a car and it was freezing and the guy drops us off. I go to open the door and the door just flies all the way open and it's
What?
like I feel like it's about to fly off the hinges or something. And the guy, he starts talking in Icelandic and he's going off on us. We have to like run out the car and then we run into the building. And it was funny because we were like complaining in the car the whole time how cold it was.
Wait, wait, wait.
And
The door of the car just it came off, or it just you guys open it? Wait a
oh
minute, you
yeah,
guys.
no, I opened it and it kind of like flew back, but it looked like it was about to come off. That's how much the wind was blowing.
Oh, oh,
Cold,
okay.
it was windy, and I wanna say that it was sprinkling a little bit, but it was a funny situation because we're sitting here talking about how cold it is and we're complaining. We're complaining amongst each other, and
Mhm.
we had I think we had irritated him from all the complaining, so when the door thing happened, he just lost it. He was just like, "Get out!" Da, 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 da." Like, but it was funny, but,
Uh,
I've had so many funny experiences. I got lost in Colombia. That was once I made it back to where I was, that was funny.
uh-huh.
When I was in Cuba, I had a it was such a great place. The people were so nice, and, I got lost there, but the people were so nice, they guided me back. So I've had so many, like, funny experiences, fun
Yeah.
experiences that I think gives me courage, and I bring that courage back.
Yeah. And that's one of the beauty about travel. I tell people it's capturing moments in time, experiences that's going to live with you forever. Oh my goodness. I mean, I snap a lot of pictures when I travel and I use I'm an Android girly. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is that when I kind of have my images backed up on my Google Drive or Google Photos, and when it's so cool because years will go by and then Google have this feature on this day. This is what you were doing. I said, "Oh my god, don't you love that? Do you do that?"
I love that. I
Oh
love
my god, I just love it, and it just bring me right back. Every time I see an image, I remember it. That's like, remember that. And it's always so great. So I wanted to share like a little fellow traveler like myself, girl. I love me some traveling. And I said, I'm gonna ask Janae about some funny story on her travel because on my little 30-day trip that I did there, I think I was in Thailand. And girl, I was in Thailand. And this wasn't cold. It was hot. Thailand get hot and stuff. So I was in some hotel and it was like beachfront across the street. And I've been traveling for a while and I need to wax up the area for this bathing suit. So I went into the establishment of the Thailand people and I told her, and they didn't speak no English, but we work it out when it comes to money. It's going to be clear. Once
yeah.
and she said, okay, no card, this money, and this so forth. So I'm on this table where she's gonna do the bikini wax. And she put on the wax and then she ripped it off. And then I guess the wax was a little bit too gentle because nothing came off. She ran it through again with the wax again in the same area and then ripped it off. And then she went a third time to put the wax in the same spot. I said, hold right there. No, you're I say, no, ma'am, what you fixing to do? No English, Janae. No English. No, 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 no. You need to get somebody up in here because you giving me all messed up with running this wax on my delicate part of my skin 3 times.
Yeah.
Was burning. This is when you
Oh my
know
god.
they their establishment wasn't for people like me. She
Yeah.
was having a problem with giving me a bikini wax where the result should be, it's nice and smooth when you're done. I couldn't do it. So the head lady, we figured it out. I said, okay. She said, oh, because they don't believe in the refund. Say, that they took my money ahead of time. And she told me, I said, no, this is not going to work out. And she said, okay, we give you massage. That's one of my funniest experience with trying to get service, like that kind of service in Thailand. So that's why I said I'm going to ask you about your travel experiences and to get some stories because people who travel a lot, they have a ton of travel story. So this is what I want to do because we love travel. So I want to do kind of a fun yes or no questions,
Okay.
right? And just yes or no, and I'll answer along as well too. Have you ever taken a trip that completely changed your perspective on life?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. Do you believe travel can help someone recover from burnout?
Absolutely, yes.
I agree as well. Would you ever book a spontaneous trip with less than 48-hour notice?
Oh.
I've
Mm.
never done that, but
I've
that
never
sounds
done that. I'm a
nice.
planner. I'm a planner.
You're a planner. Yeah, I am too. I wonder what my brain will be like if I did something like I don't know if I've never done it. And the question I guess is, do you try it?
I'm gonna say yes. I've never done it, and like I said, I'm a planner, and half of the fun for me is planning it. So, but I would do it. I would do. I would
Yeah.
'cause at least once to see how my nervous system would take it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I feel the same way. Have you ever traveled somewhere and immediately thought, I could live here?
Oh yeah, I have a list.
I feel the same way too. I go to a lot of places outside of America. I say, I could live here. But however, Janae, remember when we're in vacation mode, we in vacation mode. Vacation mode thought sometimes can be deceiving.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I was just in Portugal and
Mm.
I met so many Americans like that moved over there. And that's the first place that because there are a lot of places that I went to and said I could live here, but that's the first place that I really felt like I could because I was meeting people who were originally from St. Louis, Minnesota, and they were like,
Mm.
"Oh, I just sold my stuff and moved over here." And
Wow.
so that's the first place that I've been that I was like, "Wow, there's a lot of Americans."
Yeah. And I admire people who could just go to another country, and just said, okay. I mean, I would do it. This is my dream, is that I would live in different domains. Like, this is the lifestyle that's in my head. It's like, okay, oh, where's Sabrina? Okay, she's in this spot for 4 months, here for 6 months. I want to be in different domains, not just one. Do you believe every entrepreneur should take time away from their normal environment to reset?
I do. Yeah, I feel like it's necessary. Now, if listening out there and you're like, "No, I can be in the same environment day in and day out. I don't need a reset." I'll stand corrected, but I do feel like especially as entrepreneurs, yes, it's very necessary.
I tell people decide what you want your business or whatever that is that you're building out and think about your lifestyle that you want built in terms of being this entrepreneur. Cause there are a lot of people that's building a lot of different businesses right now and they can't walk away from it. They feel like they have to just be there, be the one. So always think about burnout, think about rest and peace. You want especially with digital stuff because I'm like in the digital space
Yeah.
where I want to create value for people. You build it once, it's going to help thousands and thousands of people in the future. And so, yeah, I say that as well. Have you ever made a business connection while you were traveling?
Yes, I have. When I was in Cuba, it was a guy who lived there and he started a tour company because he had one of those
Mm.
old cars. And we stayed in contact a lot as I would send people there. When I was in Jamaica, I have a lot of business contacts in Jamaica. I think that kind of goes with me being a travel agent because I meet a lot of business development managers. I meet a lot of people on site at the property. And it's so nice to plan me a trip and be like, oh, I have this contact that can get me from the airport or can go to dinner or something. I have done that a lot. I like it. It's really cool. It's a good way to network too.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you believe group trips can help people build confidence and community?
I do if they're done right. I talk about group trips a lot, and you have to know who you're traveling with. If you go on a group trip with somebody, it can't be just, "Oh, I just met this person and we're going on a group trip." You you have to know who you're traveling with, or you have to know who you are, like as far as what your band take, because if you go on a group trip and it's not really aligned, it's not going to feel like a trip. You know, it's gonna feel a lot less relaxing than you've imagined in your head. And I talk about that a lot, especially like girls trips and stuff. You have to make sure that the person you're going with, you guys align as far as the type of activities you want to do, the type places you want to go to eat, because all that can just ruin a whole trip. Like if you
Yeah.
find yourself being woken up at 6 in the morning and you're like, "Hey, I didn't sign up for this." I mean, you can really
Hmm.
ruin the trip
Hmm.
for you.
Yeah. And too, with group trip, my position on group trip, it's all on your mindset as well. I can go on a group trip and I tell folks, you ain't gonna mess up my trip. It's all mindset because I've been on group trip where you have so many different personality and no one can force you to go have me get up 4 in the morning, talk about we going hiking. No, I'm not. Have a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah,
But
that's why I was
I've
like,
been on a
I
group trip
should.
where I was told, but you pay for it. Well, I'm gonna skip this. I'm good. I'll
Yeah.
not poolside today.
And I'm good for that. I will pay for something because, you know, sometimes, like I said, I'm a planner. So sometimes I'll say in my head, I'm going to do all this, I'm going to do all that. And I get over there and it's not what I want to do. And, it's okay. I'll be all right if I miss that little money. It's fine.
Yeah.
But some people don't have, like, I'm really, and because I've been traveling for a while and I've done trips from taking my own groups to going on fam trips with other travel agent group. I'm good at doing my like
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm very good at that.
Yeah.
And so I can be in a group setting and I can be like tuning people out and people will be like, "Well, you're not going to eat at the restaurant we're going." No, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want
Okay.
this and I'm good at
Yeah.
doing stuff.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah. I
think
am
some
not,
people
I am a big on group trip and I tell people, and you always hear that, I don't like group trip because there's so many people and personality doesn't match. And I was like, well, don't worry about the different personality. Think about why you're on this trip because you can be in a group trip and still have individualized experience, even though it's a group. You can opt out of things and just know what you're going into it for. Have you ever used AI to help plan a trip or create a travel itinerary? I have never done this yet. As much as I've been fooling around with chatting.
I sorta have, like, I have helped. I was like, "Oh, I wanna go to Nashville," and I was trying to think of some places, so I asked AI a question, but a lot of times like I said, that travel agent just runs through me. I like to do my own internet research, and, I'll get on AI and ask different things. I think as far as travel, what I really ask for is how should I structure this for my client or how should the copy, because I still really like doing the research part.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that. And sometimes that's the fun part too. There's this funny saying, I'm sure you ever heard it, that people will take months, weeks planning out a trip rather than they would, like, say, a side hustle or something that would change your life.
Yeah.
because travel because travel give you that reset, that away from the noise, away from rat. So yeah,
It's
yeah.
definitely a decompressor. Like for me, it's been a long day at work and I'll get in the bed and, look at different landmarks or things like that, read up on it. And to me, that's fun. That's like fun time for me.
Yeah. Janae, thank you so much for being here. And guys, I want you to check out Janae's community. It's the Empire Creator Lab on School, and it's free to join. And School is spelled Skool, and it's just school.com. Type her name in Empire Creator Lab. And it's free to join. And she drops gems that can genuinely change your trajectory. I'm going to link it in the show notes so you can have a jump in on her community. And Janay, besides your school community, where else can our listener connect with you?
Yes, so I'm on Substack and it's the curated life with Jazzy. So please connect with me there. That's where I'm at a lot of the times if I'm not on Skool, Substack, and yeah, come curate your life.
I hope this conversation I'm having here today with Janay is going to hit home for so many people who are ready to stop sitting on their ideas. That's our goal here. And when I told Janay that I want to have her on the show, this is what I was telling you I want. I said, we just want to inspire people, stop sitting on their ideas. And to my listeners, remember this, your plan B doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to begin. I want people to start small, use the tools available to you, find the right room, join communities like the Empire Creator Lab, and most importantly, stop waiting for permission to start. And thank you for listening to the Mindful Side Hustle podcast. Make sure to follow the show, share this episode with a friend who need that extra push and start building that plan B before you need it. And Janay, I know some people might be listening right now and they feel stuck. What's one thing that you would tell them to get started on?
I would tell you whatever your idea is, just do it. A lot of times I feel like, and me included, we wait for it to be perfect. Oh, I have to have this perfectly mapped out. You don't have to because it's never going to be perfect. But if you keep it to yourself, no one will ever see it. Just get started. And it will be crazy, when you look back 8 months from now, how far you've gotten if you just get started.
Yeah, that is so true. Guys, that's it. Janay, thank you so much, girl. Guys, I forgot to tell you guys, Janay, she has a podcast as well, and it's all about travel. Girl, I have to come on your show too, where we can share travel stories.
Yes.
So, guys, thank you, Janay. Until next time, keep creating, keep building, and keep choosing the life you actually want. All right, guys, peace out.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, Janay, when is the next group trip?
It's a cruise. It's a cruise during Christmas.
Oh, it's a cruise going.
What's it going? I know it's going to Curacao, I think St. Bart, St. Martin. It departs out of Puerto Rico. It's on Virgin Voyages.
That's me. Mindful side hustle. We getting this money every